We've reached our destination today. Water levels don't seem to be too high. Nonetheless, it's still a waterfall. So we'll go down here so I can show you guys. It's a bit warmer actually than I thought, because I think it said it was going to be 110, but it's only 99 degrees. It's still freaking warm, but it feels good. Let me show you guys. Now, I think you used to be able to go down there. It doesn't look like it's possible anymore, but there used to be a trail. I was hoping to get down there, but I don't think that's going to happen. Little fence here for safety. This is the Palouse Falls. Guys, so we made it here to Palouse Falls, the final destination that we had for today. And beautiful spot, beautiful waterfall. The water, I think I've seen it bigger before, but nonetheless, it's still a beautiful waterfall. Now, a few things have changed here. I don't know how long it's been since you come and visit the Palouse Falls. Now, there's a spot where I'm at the very top, and a nice view of the canyon that was formed here long time ago. And the great thing about this location is that it doesn't only have a beautiful waterfall that comes down and you can photograph. It also has beautiful rock formation, natural rock formations. This is not man-made, and the canyon just looks beautiful. It has a little bit of water, but nonetheless you can still enjoy the view. As I show you here, you'll notice how beautiful it really is. Now, I'm a little concerned because, you know, Canon cameras, they are known for overheating, especially when you're doing a little bit of recording for like 25 minutes or so. And it overheats and it shuts off. And then the other thing is, it is 105 degrees out here, and Palouse Falls, I believe it's supposed to get up to 110. The fiber tripod that I have, very hot. It was very hot. It almost burned my hands. And the sun is hitting the camera a lot. So I've taken a few shots, and I've taken a few photos with the 24-70 at 24 millimeters, I think at 35, maybe all the way zoomed into 70, just to see what difference of a picture I get from taking that with the 24-70 and also taking with the Sigma 60 millimeters inverted, so it's actually a vertical frame, which allows me to have a longer frame. And then I just went ahead and did a panel with that. Now I did a panel with different exposures, right? So bracketing exposure, and hopefully we will get some good light on the rocks, definition on the rocks, and then also that we have the slow motion on the waterfall. So when I put all these photos together, I'm going to see if the waterfall looks at the speed that I want it, then I'm going to keep it. I believe I am not allowed to fly my drone, unfortunately. I think a lot of parks here in Washington State and probably across the nation, I'm not sure. But here in Washington, a lot of parks are not allowing drone flying anymore. And I think it's because people have been abusing it. And they're not being careful with other people, you know, around the area and such. So we have to keep that in mind. Now, there used to be a way to go down, all the way down to the water years ago, probably over a decade ago. But it's become dangerous. Some people have drowned down there. Some people have fallen off. And, you know, they are thinking about maybe making a walkway with some rails so that it's safe for people and tourists to come and look, and that they can actually go down there and get close to the water. Hopefully, it's something that happens here in the near future. I think it'll be nice. The only bad thing about it is you're looking at the photos, right, that I'm going to show you. You know, putting metal fences and rails and stuff like that kind of takes away from the nature part of the beautiful waterfall here and the rock formation. So believe it or not, I'm getting some wind coming through here, but it's hot wind. It is very hot, and but nonetheless it still feels good. I am in the shades, you know, over here, over covered, and so it's very nice. So I'm going to take some time to drink some water, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some photos here. I'm not sure the length or the focal length that I'm going to use from this distance, because this is like kind of like the farthest point here in the park to be able to take this photo. So let's get to it. Okay, now let's get to it. It's 115 degrees. I had to come inside. Not for me, but the cameras are overheating. My phone is overheating. 115 degrees. You know, it's dry heat. So you do have to stay hydrated, but it doesn't seem to be like a big deal, you know? Like If it's 100 degrees with a humid, I think that's annoying, I think. But 115 with dry heat, it's not too bad. There is some birds flying around here because they water part of the park, and so they're out here with, you know, drinking water, finding little worms or whatever. And I even saw a big fat squirrel. I think it's a squirrel, but he was fat, huge. I gotta go back and see if I can figure out what it is. 5:20 p.m. It's still very hot. You can tell on my face. But I'm having fun. I'm taking pictures of little birds flying around. I got a bird that got really close to me off one of these little picnic tables right here. Look how close that is. And he came over. I don't know, he was picking something on the wood. I took a picture, it's like this close. I'm just really enjoying all of this. It's hot. I'm just like slowing down, just enjoying every second of it. You know, I needed to unplug, and this was perfect. I got plenty of water. I had a Snickers for lunch. So I knew I was going to be here for a while, if you know what that means. Alright guys, so I have been having a lot of issues with the R6 overheating. I am not blaming the camera too much anymore because it is hot. It has cooled down a little bit, but the lens is hot, the tripod is hot, the camera is hot. Everything that I touch is hot. So looks like the sunset in a couple hours up on the west coast, but for here it looks like maybe another hour and a half. And I will close the blog for today. I did some B-roll for you guys so that you can see how beautiful this truly is, and the importance of having cameras and lens and equipment. The R5 Mark II has a hand grip that has a fan on it, and so I am going to be saving up for that camera, recording 8K. That'd be nice, but most of the time I guess 4K will have to do. Don't think 8K is necessary unless you're thinking about cropping the video at least at 50%, and you will still have high definition quality. So at least I hope. And the fact that it can record up to 2 hours, one of the things that I am very conscious of is that I know that I'm not going to get everything that I want on the first try. You know, I'm going to be recording, stopping, but the camera is still overheating and it still has that negative to it. But overall and all, the 60 to 600 Sigma lens, very heavy lens. I have struggled a little bit with it today. I'm not using a monopod to take pictures. I've been hand holding, and it's just not enough. But the views are here spectacular. So the lens is beautiful. It does what it's supposed to do, and I have shown you guys some birds that I've been able to capture. I was able to get close enough to a couple of them so I can get a lot of details on it. But I've used the 24 to 70 24 millimeters, I think, is still the way to go for landscape photography, at least for the most part. There's a lot of close-up shots, and I'll probably show you some on this video, that I just love to be able to get close in and get the texture of rocks and, you know, things like that. So I am very happy with the trip. It was a nice unplug for me. I have been postponing going out and making videos, even though I go locally and I make videos, and who knows, maybe I'll edit those and maybe I'll put them on my YouTube channel as well. But I'm just not happy with the quality of it. And the one thing I will say about the Sigma on the cons is it's a very slow lens, it seems like. And I have been struggling to get things in focus, sharp. And one of the things, you know, one of the biggest things that I have in mind is I know that conditions make the photo better. So whether I have really good lighting or I have bad lighting, when I have gone to take pictures of birds, especially with the last video that I'll try to make before, the photos were not sharp. You know, the eye detection on the animals, the lens is just all over the place. And it was very hard. It was a struggle to get something in focus. And of course, I was running out of light, so I actually went too late to try to get these photos out there. But I mean, you will expect the lens to be able to, you know, focus in fast enough. And I've done the distance limiter so that I can, you know, if I'm at 300 millimeters, it doesn't matter what focal length I have, 100, 200, 500, 600. With the limiter of distance, it still wasn't focusing fast enough for my liking. And so there goes that. I mean, the camera, I guess, is supposed to find the focus. One of the things that I am kind of curious or excited about with the R5 Mark II is that it follows wherever your eye is looking at. And I'm very, very curious to try that out. So I think, you know, if it's perfect, I think it's going to be a game changer for me, because a lot of times, you know, you're moving with the stick or with the screen and it's just not quite there. But if it's looking at the subject that I'm actually looking at, I think that that's going to be very phenomenal. And so, you know, going back to conditions, right? I noticed that even if I have 600 millimeters, it doesn't matter if I can get, you know, kind of close to the subject. If there is fog, maybe heat wave in the atmosphere, the lens and the camera struggle to get focus. And I know that's normal. So, you know, when you get great lighting and you get close enough to the subject, distance-wise, even at 600 millimeters, the reason why it's important is because at 600 millimeters, you are getting a lot closer, but you still need to be yourself close enough to the subject in order for you to get all that quality on feathers, for example, right, when we're talking about bird photography. And I noticed the difference on that. And, you know, playing on and off with this lens, trying different settings, programming it to you know, limit distance, to focusing one, you know, 1 point forward, 1 point back. I have tried everything. And, you know, even though I do like the photos that I have, and I put them on my computer screen, I love the photos that come out good. But I would say maybe out of 1,000 photos that I've taken, I may get one right. So, you know, if you're thinking about buying camera gear, for me that, you know, I've started doing this just like, you know, 7, 8 years ago. And, you know, getting into a hobby of doing landscape photography and animals and just, you know, anything that I can use the camera to use, I will use. I have done so many tests. I failed so many tests. I can't blame the gear. I blame myself. And, you know, you do have to acquire a skill, you know, to be able to take great photos. I do think that even though you can get great photos with old gear and not so expensive lens, I do feel that the reason why we want to upgrade to better gear is to help us beat the elements. You know, if if for whatever reason there's a lot of grass in front of a lot of subjects, the camera tends to look through that. And it's just the subject that I want is above that. I still want that as a foreground, but the camera just doesn't want to focus where I want to focus. And even if I put the dot where I want it, it still searches everywhere else. And it's just like, it's very annoying, because I know how beautiful the picture can be if I can get it just right. So having the eye detection, autofocus, blah, 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 will help me a lot. I'm gonna start collecting RF lens. I already have an 85, I have a 50, I have a 16, and you know, of course, they're the cheaper end. The 85 is a Samyang lens, which is beautiful, perfect. Oh my gosh, why can't everybody make lens that light and that good of a quality? It's just phenomenal. I should have brought it today, to be honest. But I feel that maybe having the RF lens, number one, is going to take some weight off of me, and number two, there should be no miscommunication between the camera and the lens. So using third-party lens, if you get away with it and the camera works, great. But I think that if you want to get the best results, you got to have the gear that goes with the brand of the gear. And so in this case would be the RF lens. I've seen a big difference using the RF lens to whereas a Tamron lens or the Sigma 600. Even though, like I said, if you get that sharp photo, if you get that perfect condition, this lens is phenomenal. I did football photos for high school, for little kids, and it just performs, absolutely performs. So for sports, I think it's great, because normally with sports you have a monopod, so you don't have to carry the heavy lens, holding it, and I try to put my arms in, and it's a struggle. But for that, I think this lens will be great. And if you go out to take photos, you can either use a tripod that I have right here, and I'll show you guys here with my phone real quick. That tripod, that's my BENRO, heavy. The tripod head is heavy. The iPhone, just the iPhone is it's so good, man, at controlling the light. I am so jealous. Check this out. That's a photo right there. So anyways, I am recording at 60 millimeters, and I am fairly close to the camera. There's a cliff behind me, so you gotta be careful. If you ever come to Palouse Falls, you won't regret it. 1 gallon of water. That's what I drank today within 8.5 hours. So be prepared if you come to Palouse Falls. It is very beautiful. You can see behind me, it is gorgeous. Parking right there. You can see there's some observatory over there. Not observatory, but a spot where you can see the waterfalls up front. And it's just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It really is just beautiful. I thank God for letting me come out today. With that being said, guys, I am finishing this video on my phone because my camera overheated, so I don't know when it stopped. All I know is the screen went black. But till next time. You all be blessed. Peace.